So fuck it, Pat, and wow, that's how I started it this week. So fuck it. That's probably the vibe of the energy we're gonna have. So we still have Pat, who I didn't check the message. Did he wake up yet? Did he reply?
I don't think so.
Asleep, son of a bitch. And Ollie should be here any minute. We're late as usual, and
thanks, Eric.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Hey, you know what? Google Hangouts took an extra 30 seconds to load.
Yeah, it only took, an extra 20 minutes for you to send out that link.
Yeah, 15. That was shallow. All right.
I'm sorry, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's well within the bounds of my estimation.
Exactly. Well, if anybody knows about mounds, it's you. So I'm joined by Ryan Sweeney and Brad Hartland. It's Ollie. Fuck, Ollie and Pat should be coming soon. So Ryan, what's the most interesting thing in your life right now?
I just finished a fantastic book, and it was really interesting. So you've been publicly shamed
Nerd.
by John.
Hey, Ollie. In time. Keep talking about your book. When Ollie chimes in, we'll know he can hear us. Oh, he's got to set his thing to black and white. By the way, we're on air, Ollie, just so you know.
Okay, what's going on, guys?
Every podcast has to set it to black and white, but I've never seen the process from start to finish. It always appears to me as a final product.
I never come out during the day, and it looks a little bit odder, actually.
Oh, holy shit! You're right. Because you got sun coming in through your room.
Sun coming in through my window.
I
can't turn it so.
So Ryan and Brad, this is Ollie. Ollie, this is Ryan and Brad.
Nice to meet you, gentlemen.
So Ryan was telling us about he's a nerd who reads books. So we
what are those?
And then so tell us about your book.
So you've been publicly shamed by John Ronson in the his nice Gonzo style journalism that kind of it looks at several case studies of people that were publicly shamed on social media, like Justine Sacco, who had the infamous AIDS tweet.
The Africa thing where she her Twitter feed blew up while she was on a plane. Was that the thing?
Yep. And she lost her job and was emotionally scarred. And then the lady that she posed in front of signs doing the exact opposite. One of which was at the Arlington National Cemetery. It said, "Please be quiet and respectful." So she had a picture of that with her cell phone and flicking off the sign, and again lost her job. And was completely emotionally damaged. So he kind of investigates social shame, but then goes into what that all means and people that survived social shaming in some form or another. And then the conclusion of the book is fascinating, and there's a really good quote coming out of it. So, some guy who works at the I literally just finished reading this book.
Please tell me it's highlighted.
No, I was writing my Goodreads review, so I have it handy because I was waiting for you to start this podcast. You're so damn slow. So this guy who worked in the Mississippi criminal justice system is saying to John, Clive's point was that the criminal system is supposed to repair harm, but most prisoners, young, black, have been incarcerated for acts far less emotionally damaging than the injuries we non-criminals penetrate upon one another all the time. Bad husbands, bad wives, ruthless bosses, bullies, bankers. And I thought that was a fascinating kind of conclusion to land on. And then he goes into a rehabilitation center. There's one guy is leading where it's focusing on, treating criminals like human beings and instead of shaming them consistently, which spurs on a lot of violence. He talked to the guy that Shutter Island, Ben Kingsley's character, was based on. He works with these people, these murderers, and is trying to get to the bottom of it, and it all stems from being shamed in some way. Every case, when he got to the root cause, it was being shamed or humiliated in some way. His mom, this one murderer, just killed just a ton of people, whatever. His mom thought he was possessed by the devil and had some voodoo shit go on, and basically instilled in him that he was the devil, and he believed that, so he acted that out. Just essentially, his soul eroded because he was shamed, and that led to a violent life.
That's
fucking fascinating.
Sounds like a fun read. Fun read.
It actually is. His John Runson's voice is fantastic.
All right, well, let me ask you this. What do you think about? I was not planning on getting into anything serious, but but that's what's happening. So, what do you think about the dude? Obviously, the case is still yet to start, but the dude who was accused of rape by Mattress Girl, and as more evidence comes out, it's looking that he was not exactly guilty, and there was still a whole school that allowed her to make her entire project about this, what is starting to look like a false accusation, that was school supported, that's kind of messed this guy's life up, and his potentially false accuser was like invited to the State of the Union as a guest of honor, was invited to like all this stuff. Like, so what do you guys, or Ryan, or you guys think about in those cases where it's not just someone who did something and it's, I guess, like with the girl who posed in front of the signs, where the public reaction is so overblown that it's messing up their lives? What do you think about people who are accused of doing something wrong but didn't necessarily end up doing anything wrong? Are we too quick to jump on the whole, we as a community can get online and destroy somebody before we have all the evidence? Similar to wasn't there a guy during the Boston bombing who was through 4chan and Reddit, people were showing all these like pictures from the bombings, and they said, "Oh, we think we know who did it," and that guy wound up dead or something.
Right. Yeah. I think it was Reddit that they tried to track down who it was, and it ended up ruining. I don't know if the guy was killed, but it was bad. Yeah, no, I 100% alive. Twitter, social media in general, I think is it's a great format for the disenfranchised. I mean, people who wouldn't otherwise have a voice, and it's a really good tool for that. But I think there is something about our knee-jerk reactions as a human race that makes us think that we can be judge, jury, and executioner. I don't think it's anyone's place to call for the sentencing of someone. I think the proper format is to stop and think and use social media for education, not for destruction. I think the power of social media is giving people who don't have a voice the voice to educate from their perspective, and that's where it's most powerful. We react too sensitively to this kind of shit, and then we forget about it the next day and we move on to something else.
We forget about it. Yep, exactly.
And it's so insignificant, but it gives us this feeling that we're doing good. But are we? I don't know. In some cases, maybe. In some cases, probably not.
What do you guys think, Oli and/or Brett? Yeah, Oli, go for it.
Yeah, there's a whole example of when the
can't hear you. He's on mute or something.
Hey, Oli, you're not on mute. Ryan is on a weird setting where if we put our settings to studio, he can't hear it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Oh, now I can hear you. Hey.
Hello. But yeah, we had the examples of all the innocent shooting. Well, not the innocent shootings. The shootings that happened in Baltimore, the ones that happened in this is gonna be looking bad on
Missouri.
In Missouri, with I can't remember any names right now because of course but all the shootings of all the unarmed black kids, especially the first one that ended up happening, it turns out that he kind of roughed up some of the people during a robbery, and like he might not have been
the Mike Brown one. Gotcha.
It might have been that Brown kid. That
No, Mike Brown.
Mike Brown. I thought you said it might have been that Brown one.
Oh my god. His name was Mike Brown.
I honestly thought. Good morning.
Oh my god. I think I better correct that one.
You were getting all kinds of political, and it was all good.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, okay, sorry, yeah. So you're saying. Yeah, go for it.
So yeah, he might not have been innocent as we all were to think, and the initial knee-jerk reaction would have been to go on Twitter and shun all police activity, forget all the people that protect us and everything along the lines of that. When in reality, it's really not. We don't have all the information, and when you go and screw up someone's life to that extent, with the individual with the mattress.
Yeah, I don't know her name.
I don't know her name or the accuser's name, but if that does end up turning out that like that was a false accusation and it wasn't exactly what she had said and stuff like that, there's not anything that we can really do. It's like imprisoning someone that didn't do a crime and then 15, 20 years later he's now just standing in front of a judge like whoop fuck. Yeah. And then there's not much that they can do besides just give a I think some states will give a paycheck for every year that you've been in jail, while others are just like, please don't hate us.
Or you'll go right back here.
It's like, here you go.
Jeez, yeah. Hey, Brad, do you have any thoughts, or do you like your job?
I like my job.
So you want to talk about music instead?
Yeah.
I
didn't come here to get all political.
Yeah.
It's not political. It's
no,
social.
I know, but
it's real, man.
It's real life. This is human talk, son.
All right, human talk.
Human talk.
All right. So Ollie, what's the most interesting thing going on in your life?
Right now, I have to plan a picnic in about 2 hours, and I have to ask my girlfriend.
It sounds like a fucking reality show. I got 2 hours to plan a picnic.
This is like a task from P. Diddy.
You can use matches, an apron,
and 2 empty bottles.
Yeah, make a picnic.
But like my girlfriend would say oh, we should do something. I'm like, okay, what do we want to do? And she's like, I don't know. And I'm just like, we can do things. They can involve life. And she's like, okay. And then I think she finally said, let's do a picnic. And I think that was around 11 o'clock last night. So now I'm like, now it's my job. So I have to put together a picnic. I'm a man who don't know how to cook nothing that ain't ramen. So
you can I think you can pick up stuff on the way to the picnic site. I think you can get enough, a smorgasbord of fast food would be what I would
people
put the subway.
Fast food, because that's so adorable, It's a nice Sunday, it's a nice park, there's some nice McDonald's spread out.
You gotta sell it that way. Slip it in just like that. Well, my prom dinner, the girl I took to prom, I got Taco Bell because that's what she wanted. I had poor standards, and we decorated the kitchen table so it was a nice, fancy, romantic meal.
Nice.
And then she cheated on me a month later, and then became a stripper later. So, good prom.
Good prom.
All right, Brad. What's up?
No, I was just thinking about the stripper. How old?
Yeah. Well, what? Net bomb. God damn. All right, keep going.
No, I didn't hear. I was just concerned because 18-year-old strippers, I didn't know were a good thing. But hey, never mind.
She went over to Oregon, and classy place to be a stripper. I don't know why I'm being such a dick. I think I'm over it. Yeah.
Totally can't tell.
She's a nice gal. All right. Her name was Erica, and every time I see my name, it hurts.
Oh,
it hurts so deeply. We dated for less than a month.
Eric and Erica were 2 American kids.
Is that a real song?
No, but it might as well be at this point.
I feel like Eminem always drops my name in at least once per record. Eric is his generic, when he's talking about all the kids he influences, Eric is his generic name for it.
Is it really?
Yeah.
His generic name.
Oh, he called you basic.
Oh, man. Ryan's so happy that a black guy said basic and it wasn't about him.
Ryan, if you want, I can call you my nigga too.
Pan down, Ryan. I want to see how big it is. All right, Brad. What's the most interesting thing in your life? Ryan showed us.
I went to my first country concert yesterday.
Oh shit, that's right. I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah.
So Brad texted me at the when he's at this concert, and he said it was the first time he was at Jiffy Lube Live, and the only other than when he saw 311 and Snoop Dogg with me.
Yeah.
And no more than 10 minutes later, he goes, "This blows. Where's Snoop?" So why were you at a country concert? And I asked you what's her name, and you said it wasn't for a girl. So I have no idea why you were there. What is happening in your life?
Same as my attendance at 311. I had a friend who liked the music and wanted a buddy to go with.
What was said band or person?
The headliner was Lady Antebellum. Ended up not seeing them though. But
choice,
the other
good life
two
choice.
openers were Sam Hunt and Hunter Hayes.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, Ollie. Ryan lives in Durham. He is so he has to be around some of this stuff that, like, to you and I don't know if, like, those words Brad just said were just gibberish to me. But
I know Sam Haynes, but that's about it.
Jesus, well, never mind. You're all hicks, as far as I'm concerned. So wait, Brad, your friend was so into country, like he was that guy who went. What was the Foo Fighters Weezer concert? Who was the opening act for that?
Kaiser Chiefs.
Yeah, so he was the guy, like you told me about the guy at that concert who came, saw Kaiser Chiefs, and then peaced out. He was that, your friend was that into country that he was like, well, I'm not going to stay for the headliner. I paid $75
Well,
for a
like,
seat.
it's not. Yeah,
I'm
it's
pretty
not
sure that like Foo Fighters has like one song too that's pretty country, so that would be a little disappointing.
Even that. Brad, what were you going to say? You started to say.
It's not like it's not it's not like going to shows like going to shows is to you or us here. It's not like you're going to these little clubs to see these bands you really love. You're going to this event where they play music you like, and it's just about like being outside, drinking, hanging out with people, and listening to music. It's not like oh, I hope they play this deep cut off their first album. It's like no, you're there.
All right, that makes sense. So you guys got lawn seats, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because that's kind of how some years when Warped Tour doesn't have very many bands I'm really into, I'll still go to walk around the walk around the grounds to maybe see a couple bands I haven't heard of, and then just hang out with people. Like it's a party. You're paying entrance to
it's a party.
Lawn seats are pretty cheap, so I gotcha. I used to give my sister used to exclusively buy lawn seats for bands that she was like, I'm a diehard fan of this band. And she'd get these lawn seats, and I get so angry. But I get it. I mean, it's a party.
I mean, you could just get a band DVD and put it in your laptop and go out to a public park and have a party. And
have a little picnic. There you go.
A little Ollie.
And it's also like 10,000 times cheaper.
Yeah, that's what you should do, Ollie. You should get a CD of her favorite band, and then find 200 fans of that band in the greater New Jersey area, and have everybody meet up at the park and hang out. Very romantic.
You know what? I could probably make that happen too. The city would just get like really annoyed at me and just be like, "Why?" They're all crowding around like one laptop trying to hear their one song.
No one brought speakers.
No one brought speakers. The cars can't fit in the park. So it's like, we're writing you a ticket for just being an asshole.
Goddamn cash. Well, but Ollie, if anybody could actually do that and just set up an impromptu fan convention for a band at a park in like an hour's notice, it's you in Jersey, I would say. You guys are talking to a major player in the Jersey scene.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I know everybody. I'm like the goddamn mayor.
I kind of want to see this picnic now. See what level we're at.
I think I might need a day. I think the picnic's just gonna have like 50 kids, and like the only fans I'll be able to find will just be like ICP fans. So it's just gonna be like it's gonna be an impromptu whoop whoop concert. 50 kids.
Hey, Ryan. So, your buddy from your bachelor party, who did he write for like a music magazine thing or something, or am I remembering that wrong? What does he write for?
A bunch. He freelances.
Okay. You'd say he has very, I don't want to say snobby, but very high quality, highbrow, well-researched music tastes?
Yeah.
He likes to...
Are we talking about Ryan or his friend?
Ryan's friend. We're not talking about Ryan. I've been bullying on Ryan too much. I need to start. I don't know.
Right. Ryan's local only. I got it.
Local only. Yes. If you leave the city limits of Durham, he's no longer a fan.
You know me so well, Brad.
So your friend with a very discernible taste who likes to no guilty pleasures, like that just any bullshit, just likes to get it out. He's also the guy who got drunk and tricked into liking ICP. Is that right?
Yes.
We're in the middle of like probably the third song. I put the first one on in the car on the way from one alcohol establishment to another, and he was at Ryan's bachelor party, and he's like, "This is so stupid. This is just, oh my god, please turn it off, even as a joke. Can't do it." And then the next song came on. Huh?
I thought that was me.
That was you too. That was everyone. No one wanted. Like, are you kidding me? And then, by I think song 2, everyone kind of stopped like complaining, and song three, your friend just he starts laughing. He goes, "Why is this actually kind of good? Why is this kind of good?"
Yes.
Anyway, okay,
They're
so
good curators of classic hip hop.
yeah. Oh man! All right, so you had you brought up a link to me about Knuckle Puck. You want to talk about that now?
Yeah, sure.
So this is going to be interesting, Ryan, because normally it's me, Ollie. So normally it's me, Ryan, Brad, and this guy Pat. Pat is very open-minded and welcoming to new things. Ryan's not as much when it comes to music. I'm just kidding. He doesn't like. Well, okay, Ryan.
New things. I'm open to new things. I'm not open to new things that are repeating old things and carrying out old stereotypes.
All right, let me. I thought you were going to say I'm not into new things that are shitty.
That too. I mean,
Pretty much. Like,
All right,
you gotta have that.
You know what? I'm going to cut through all my bullshit. Ollie, listen to this. Okay, Ryan. First word that pops into your head: pop punk. So normally, when Brad brings up a band like Knuckle Puck, he doesn't have anyone else but me to bounce it off of. So this is going to be a nice bridging of the gap from my band.
Wait, hold on. Okay, this is a band. I thought this was like a game.
To be clear.
I thought Knuckle Puck was like some game where you just like sit in a room and punch each other in the balls.
well, you just described their shows, so. It's a bunch of sad pop punk kids.
Holy shit! That's what the pits need to be at some pop punk show. When we get sick of people throwing like fists and shit in the pit, just start walking up and just like sack tapping everybody.
Just everyone you can see.
Pop nut. That's not close enough.
Pop
All
nut. Pop nuts at pop punk shows.
Yeah. All right, Brad. Tell what's about.
So yeah, and it's not as much about who the band is, but just a band who I think is like fairly big and well known, at least in that scene for sure. Like coming out and saying, "Hey guys, here's the link to our Bandcamp. Download whatever you want for free right now." Yeah, I just thought it was interesting for a band who has reasonable success to be able to come out and do that.
Like at one time that Radiohead was like, "Hey guys, we have an album. You can pay whatever you want for it."
Yeah, that one time that major band who's had hit after hit after hit,
Yeah.
who came from a time where terrestrial radio and MTV loved them and mattered.
Right.
Not the same at all.
Pretty much, yeah.
And this is their entire discography up to this point.
Yeah. Let's
Not
think
just
of
their one new album.
Knuckle Puck is on the way up. Like so Ryan, they'd be a band like, remember in college how about where like the National was, like on their popularity level? Like they're starting to get to play the bigger festivals for their genre and getting like bigger and bigger. That's kind of where Knuckle Puck is right now. They're that band that opens up for the bands everybody's heard of, kind of. And they just up and went like, here's all of our shit for free. Now that's so Brad, you're saying that like it's interesting because of like where they're at their career that they would just do that.
Yeah.
So do you think that they would at this point rely on those record sales more for their income, or do you think that this is like, I mean, it's obviously a PR move to get new fans.
Definitely.
So what do you think the trade-off is?
It's not really any different than them having their music on Spotify, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
The only difference is like, oh, you can download it to your computer now, which if you're paying for Spotify, you can do anyways with the offline playlist.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But yeah, I just thought it was really interesting and it's definitely a PR move. Like they're not, I assume, I don't know, maybe they're not making a whole lot of money from the digital sales, so they just decided to give it away and get the good publicity out of it.
Well, I think another thing that goes along with that is that if they're going to be giving away all their stuff for free right now, they probably have some stacked tours that are going to be coming up. Like they're probably going to end up headlining, and they probably want everyone to like get into their music, and then they're going to be like, "Well, hope you like the music because we're coming at you with like a big ass tour." That's at least what I'm assuming. Because I mean, I don't know if there'd be any other reason as to why they would just give away the music for free.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And they're on Zach Zerillo's label. Ollie, can you confirm that for me?
On the actual label, I don't think Zerillo has a label, but he does manage them.
Oh, he manages them. My bad. Yeah. So, Brad, the guy who runs property of Zach is the manager. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised with that he's making those kind of moves. Like he's definitely trying to Point being, the band is very well advised by him and the people who advise him.
Yeah.
So Ollie, I think that makes sense. I think this is obviously not just a spur of the moment thing. I think this is a very calculated, which is really cool, and it kind of flows into a topic that I wanted to bring up with you guys, which is just the idea of music being, like, as a culture, we just agree that music is free. And one thing that I think is really interesting is that due to the technology advancements so quickly, we have like a weird generational gap that only goes a couple of years at a time. So, like, if we look at it, we've got guys who are me and Brad's age, and even Ryan kind of dips into that too, where we've always had the ability to illegally download music. So to us, music can, in a sense, it's like it's free, but it's like it's free if you're willing to, like, go out there and just take it and know for a fact that you're doing something that is illegal. Then there's people a couple years younger than us, probably Ryan and all, you'd fit into their better, where it's you've always had the option to get free music via YouTube or I guess not Spotify, but maybe Pandora. I'm trying to think what would have been an older version of that. But there's another generation now who music is just free, because every single day bands are just desperately trying to give their shit away because they know that's just kind of the culture of it. So they grow up not thinking this is illegal, but I do it anyway. They don't even think that. They don't even think sometimes it's free, sometimes you pay for it. They just kind of come up with it of, like, it's free, and you can't really blame them because that's the price that artists have set for the most part. So do you think that that's and I mean, like you said, you can have the option to buy it on Bandcamp or stream it for free on Spotify or on YouTube. Yeah. So it's like just yesterday I was talking to my dad, who's a professional musician, and he brought up the idea or the topic of how Apple is trying to do their streaming service, and he was, like, a little bit concerned of what happens when, he's like, my fans would probably just, like, I mean, they're older, it's jazz, it's like they want to buy the record. They want to buy, whether it's physical or even iTunes, they want to buy it. But what happens when they try to go to buy it and a thing pops up and iTunes goes, we have this streaming service where you could have everything. And he was worried about, like, what happens. He was like, what happens when everything is, like, just, like, free and people are willing to just stream it and they don't care. And I said, not only is that going to take a long time, but they can do that right now.
Guys, yeah.
Like, that's not actually a new thing. That's just one company trying to take over a couple of other companies. But I don't know. I think it's one of those things where it's now paying the cost of music. Gosh, the cost of music is a choice. Like, and for all people, it's just a choice now. So do you guys have any thoughts on that, or did I just take up all the opinions and just spout them out and then put my name
done here?
And it's tough for music because it's, as one of my good friends pointed out to me, it's the only art form that doesn't really have a physical presence that you can see or hold beyond the manufactured good. I mean, and that's, when you're paying for music, or when you're paying for something, you associate it with a good or a service. So what you're paying for, you think is like, oh, this CD, this physical thing. But really what you're paying for are the thoughts, the ideas, the art that is intangible. And I think it's really hard for a lot of people to wrap their heads around, hey, maybe I should actually pay for this. Because they can't see it, they can't feel it. They can only connect with it. So it's that thought, like, what is the meaning of music to you? Is it something that you listen to in the background, or is it something that you have a connection to, and something that grabs your mind and your soul? And how much is that worth versus how much is a song that you might have any connection with? Where is the worth in those intangible ideas and emotional connections?
It's in the T-shirt. You have to buy the T-shirt.
You have to buy the T-shirt. That's
a free download card. That's correct. Well, that's it. I want to hear, Ollie, do you have a take on this?
Oh yeah. It's kind of weird. Sorry, this is like.
Yeah.
I got some for you guys. As was being said, there is an emotional connection to it, and there's like people that say like music touches you, and like the whole emotional aspect that goes into it, and I think that gets lost on the actual process of music making. That gets lost. Mm-hmm. It's like there is a whole process that goes along. There's someone putting down the thoughts. There's someone that's has honed down their skill to a point in which they want to say, oh shit, I can show this to other people and they might like it. Like it's that much of hard work that goes along into it. There's a music production that goes into it, and that can sometimes get lost within like the cost of music. And I think that for musicians that going into a new generation that's going to have streaming services in which you're not going to make too much money off of, giving away your music for free, and going with the rest of the tidal wave, I think it's going to be more of an investment for people to now be putting out these EPs and LPs and songs and stuff like that without the intent of making it back.
Yeah, it's interesting, almost like taking an approach of like art curation or something where people are, we see the whole Kickstarter thing exploding. Some people using it in interesting, good ways as like pre-orders, and other people seeming like they're just
just give me money, please.
Yeah, I want to make some tacos. Give me some money. It's interesting to see if we eventually switch to this realization where, hey, it actually costs people money to make this shit. Maybe we should pay. Maybe we should invest in advance. And
yeah, I found people when we were doing our Kickstarter. There was people who would just be like, I want a breakdown of every cost for everything. And as you write it up, and you put it there, and they're like, I got comments of, holy shit, it costs to pay that much money to make a product like that? It's like, yeah.
Who knew? Who knew? You don't have like a full studio in your backyard, Eric?
Yeah, no, well, not in my backyard. in my other backyard, in the park. With, I think a lot of it definitely comes down to now it really is a choice of if you want to pay for music. So it's I always try to analyze like the minds of a music consumer, whether you're a casual listener or like a hardcore listener, but it all comes down to what are you going to pay, what music will you pay for? Yeah. People will pay for concerts. They'll pay if they like a cool vinyl or a shirt and they can get music for free along with it. They'll pay for that. Fine, that's fine. But they'll also pay if they actively like my dad. This is so funny because I had this 2-hour conversation about this with my dad yesterday, so it's all those examples that are coming to mind. But we were talking about, he was like, well, what makes somebody who listens to the same song on Spotify or YouTube over and over and over again eventually just go, I'm going to buy this song? Because that happens. Like, I think we've all done it. I know I sure have. And it's one of two reasons. Convenience. Maybe you don't have it right then in that format, and you're like, well, if I just buy it, then I'll just have it in everywhere I can get it. But two, some days, I must have listened to that first Story So Far album like 40 times before I was like, you know what, I should just buy this fucking thing. Like, I should just, it's brought me so much joy, and I really like it, and I should just buy it. And I don't think that that's an outdated point of view. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think that's just, yeah, go for it. Mm-hmm.
I think that it might be taking a shift because I know for me, I rely on convenience with everything. Spotify has pretty much turned into my iPod, where I used to buy, dump, listen, and then when I had Spotify, that I can here's my music phone. Spotify is on here and it has 30 gigs, and it's just like, and I pay $10 a month. So wow. I really haven't needed to find the music since the music's all in one place. And I love certain things, but then it's like now I have a physical copy and now I really don't have a use for it. Besides, supporting the band, but who the fuck wants to do that? But
okay, sorry, finish it up, but that's a perfect transition
that's pretty much it. I mean, I think just by buying physical copies, for at least for me, would just be literally solely to support the band.
Yeah. So couple quick things, and then we'll transition to that next branch off topic. One, Ryan, you and Brad on our first episode, we talked about the non-music aspects of music, like the visual aspect of the live show, or even photo shoots, or music videos, or whatever it is. Basically, the things that if you take out the music, all the other things that attract somebody to a band. And I know we all had varying opinions on whether or not that was a good thing or not, and it was more like, well, fuck it, it should just be the music, or maybe music is now a full multimedia art form or a platform where the enjoyment of a band is not just the music, but also maybe how good their tweets are, or how good, it's like whatever it is, or how much you like their podcast. Eric tries too hard. But so that's one thing that I think is really interesting is that you're seeing bands, and Man Overboard is a great example of that. And I think they said it. I think their singer Zach said it on the Babe Talk podcast. I could be wrong. Okay, that means nothing to Ryan. No, Ollie, I might be misremembering the source, but I think he said it to us on the Babe Talk podcast, where he was like, we were playing shows, no one knew who we were, but we'd go back to the merch table, and all of our Defend Pop Punk shirts were sold out. And we're like, wait a minute, something's happening here. Like where it benefits you to have somebody in the band who may be a graphic designer just as much as it would be if they were great at their instrument, like that kind of thing. Like maybe, and so when you're talking about people wanting to, I guess, God damn it, I got off on too many tangents and lost the original point. Well, anyway, this is what it was. You're saying that people don't see music as like it's not a tangible thing, so it's like, well, why would I pay for this non-tangible thing? It seems to be just as important, even more so important now, to create a tangible product that you can slip the music in for free as well. Like, and that
but then
seems
you're not
to be
selling. You're selling a product, and the music is just the added benefit.
Well, you're selling the music because that's what they want to buy, but they need a physical thing. It'd be like basically you're subtracting, because you're giving the music away on, say, a download card, right? So you're subtracting the physical cost of pressing a CD, which is a physical, tangible thing, and you're replacing the cost of that CD with the cost of a shirt or a vinyl or something else like that. That's kind of how I conceptualize it. Personally, I wish you could just throw out text files, or not, what am I saying? Like just audio files to everyone, and that would be enough. But it's not,
because we're a bunch of materialistic hoarder pieces of shit.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's the Ryan I know.
We are in a materialistic place, and it's like, oh, is there a thing over there? Can I get it? No. It's like, hold on, we'll give you this for free as well. It's like, oh, this looks kind of cool. And then you open the present, it's like, oh fuck, there's actually something tangible in here.
Yeah.
I don't know, so I've been seeing a lot of headlines, people like financial blogs, whatever the fuck, talking about how it's more important to have experiences than things.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that our generations under us are going to start coming up with it and following more in suit. I think we're going to eventually shed out of this kind of materialism that we've been struggling with for the past however long, and eventually shift towards that. I don't think it's going to be anything immediate, but I think there's definitely a shift towards the importance of experience over tangible things.
And I love that, but I also think when it comes, especially when we're talking about music, the four of us are I was going to say in a room, but close enough. We're like we're in a room together with people who are diehard music fans, diehard music fans. That just like Brad is describing, sometimes you go to a concert and you get lawn seats because the music isn't the number one thing there. And so for us, thinking that way is great. But there are plenty of people who just don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about physical art. I don't go to art galleries.
But then it's not for them.
Art's for nerds.
Art's for nerds, bro. Yeah. Well, and then the other thing is, yeah.
I think the whole Spotify thing, we're all trying to compare it to buying CDs. Like, oh, people aren't buying CDs; they're going on Spotify now. I think it's closer to radio. Like people who aren't paying for Spotify, it's just radio with more control.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas they're not seeking out for the most part, people who, at least my theory is that people who have the free Spotify and listen to whatever are just oh, this is whatever, put this playlist on today. They're not seeking out a specific album by a band they love. They're just picking this curated playlist, essentially listening to the radio.
Yeah, and that's a big difference. Some people want it. Yeah, whatever. I was about to just say what you just said, so I'm not going to do that.
You had a good point, but I say it better.
Well, I'm still in host duty where I'm just I'll summarize what was just said 4 times as long as what was actually said.
3 more stories thrown in.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus Christ.
I love your voice, Eric.
Yeah, you haven't known me as long as these two, so just wait. Just wait. Well, so the other thing with paying for music is that gives a shit. All right, this is what I wanted to bring up. Oh no, so it's very much a choice of what artist you want to support, and I think that's why Kickstarter campaigns do so well when you use them as a pre-order, because people would rather 3 months before the album comes out go, I want to contribute it's like they want the experiences as opposed to the tangible thing, Ryan. They want to be able to say, when they have that record and they play it for someone, they want to be able to say, oh yeah, I was like their first $10. They may have been like the 20th $10 thing, but they're going to say they were the first. And it was like, I contributed to this. I got a personalized whatever CD or whatever it is, or like I got this ahead of time because I contributed to it. They want to not only say but also feel, because they want to support something, that they contributed to making art. That's what they want to do. I think
commissioning. They were part of the commissioning of this piece of art.
Yeah, and that's really cool, and that's why I think that model works so well. And I think, and what I think, and this is my super radical future utopia, possibly dystopia idea for art, is that at one point we're all just going to have websites with a PayPal thing in the top right, and it's, hey man, I create art for free. This is the type of art I do. I also do this, and I do this, and I do this. Here are the projects I'm interested in. Here's the cost breakdown. Donate to my PayPal, and these things will get created and just be free to the world. Yeah. That's like my vision of how.
It's here. That future is here, and it very exists.
How do I monetize it?
How do I get the money?
How does let me rephrase.
I mean, like you look at a lot of yeah.
I was gonna say, 10 years ago, I would have been wearing the shirt you're wearing right now. Dead Kennedys, anti-capitalism. Granted, we both probably got our Dead Kennedy shirts from Hot Topic. Nevertheless,
shut the fuck up.
And today, I wear a fully incorporated like fucking
logos.
You sold out, man. You sold out.
We all sold out.
I don't even know you anymore, Eric.
Son, I didn't sell out. I bought in. All right. So
hang him right then and there.
Sorry, Ollie. Were you gonna make a point?
Well, yeah. Like, how do you monetize off of like putting things to money, saying like, oh, I do this for free, but you can give me all the money. Look at all the okay, great example. Property of Zach, he does everything for free. He has his sponsorship stuff, but if you want to contribute, you can give. I want to say it's a subscription-based website in which you pay like $5, $10, or $12, and you'll get certain packages that come per month. Like you'll get an exclusive article that Zach wrote before anybody else for like $5. If let's say the podcast, you could send a podcast out a day early to certain people for like $1, and I think it comes with like when you have a fan base. Of course it does. I think I'm circling a point here.
Yeah, are you getting exclusive access or just early access?
Exclusive access, early access. It comes with like whatever you want to set. So you can have exclusives. You can have early access. You can have personal blowjobs. Like anything that you personally want to have for this service.
Only in the tri-state area. He's not going to leave the area to
They're not that good, but if you were to put the PayPal things up in there and then kind of monetize, there are a lot of people that are utilizing this like right now, and I think people do like the idea of having wanting to contribute and also contributing and getting a reward on top of that as well. Besides their content.
I think that model really attracts like the hardcore and trusting fans. Like to give somebody money for art that you haven't seen or heard yet, you have to really be a fan of them, of that band or artist, whoever it is. And it's not the casual fans who are like, oh yeah, I'll give you $20 for this record that I haven't heard yet.
Well, yeah, and there's also a whole culture in Kickstarter. I'm getting off way too. Sorry, I was about to open up a whole other can of worms. So here was the question I wanted to pose to all of you. I think I mentioned this to Brad before. But so with all this thoughts of music being the value of music and like our like the artists that we really love and how we can support them, are there times for you? I know there have been for me where I'm sitting down thinking about a band that I really like that's brought me a lot of joy, and then I think to myself, how has this band benefited in any way, shape, or form from me being a fan? And sometimes I'll go, not at all, because it's like I've never seen them live. I haven't bought a shirt. I haven't actually bought the music. Maybe they've gotten a handful of like pennies from me from streaming, but like there are plenty of artists that I've enjoyed who I just haven't, and maybe I've shared their music, but just because you share the music, if every other asshole you share it with doesn't actually contribute monetarily to that band, like then they're not supporting. then you're not actually making any headway in allowing that band to continue making that art that you love.
You can't save all the stray kittens. Some of them have to die in a day.
But I'm talking about the ones you like. I'm not
I
talking
know.
about like
Everybody loves fucking stray kittens. You can't save them all.
Okay.
They're gonna die.
So do you feel
Some of
guilty,
them are
Eric?
gonna
You feel
die.
guilty about that?
Of course you feel guilty. Who wants to see a dead kitten in a ditch? No one. But some of them have to die. Because no one spays or neuters their children.
Fuck you, Ryan. I'm going to open up an orphanage for kittens now.
Kittens and shitty local bands.
Welcome to Babe Talk, everyone.
Yeah. I love that you slipped in your podcast name in my podcast. I could not love that anymore. That's you know what, Ollie? I had another panelist, Ashley, on the podcast, and every time she used an example when she was talking about like media stuff, she'd go, "So, for example, let's say the Eric Tries Too Hard podcast needs to do this." And I was like, "Yeah, that's the kind of guest that we need on this podcast. The ones that, in their example, continue to plug the product that they're on." So Ryan,
Pretty much, I mean, it's like a hype person.
Exactly. Yeah, I need somebody wearing a clock behind me to just name drop the podcast every couple minutes. Yeah.
Every 10 minutes.
Yeah. Or oh shit. All right. I can tell since Brad just added Google effects to his goddamn Hangout. That means that we're running out of attention span. Yeah, it tells me. Oh, hey, guess who's about to join us? Pat. Just in time.
Oh, cool.
So, but Brad, do you have to go now, or do you...
No, I got a few more minutes.
Okay, cool. What we're gonna do right now, because Pat's joining us now, if you guys are cool to go till about 11:10, then we can go till then. And the other thing is that for any of you who want to keep podcasting, I don't know if Ollie has a picnic to go to, or if Ryan can stay.
Thank you for reminding me of that. I was just gonna be like, I'll keep podcasting. Girlfriend's gonna be like, hi, babe. It's just like, okay.
Well, so what I will do is in a few minutes, I'm gonna start. I've got a comic, like I've got a bunch of comics coming on the podcast, and any of you guys who want to stay, I'm gonna make sure Pat stays to get on that podcast. Any of you guys want to stay and come keep like podcasting? I'll send you the new link to that one, and we can just keep on going.
I can't. I gotta bounce.
Fuck everybody. Okay. All right. Well, so fine. We'll
I need those PP, man.
Yeah. Right. Wait. Picnic points.
Replace picnic with another.
Oh. Sorry. Yeah.
It's okay. Oh. I mean, I might get it at the picnic. I am gonna be yelled at.
You might get PP at the picnic.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. I'm gonna get PP at the picnic.
You down with OPP? Other people's picnics?
Yeah, other people's picnics.
Yeah, you know me.
Yeah, you know me.
It's like that. That's two ants rapping to each other. All right, so what I want to. God damn it! Hurry up, Pat. Because if he gets on, I want us to. Me and Pat just saw Less Than Chicken, Real Big Fish, and I wanted to talk about that with you guys. So
okay, I'm leaving.
Yeah, wow.
Oh man, you know what? We always end strong, so like this can end weak. This can end in disarray and chaos. Usually it goes the other way around. Do any of you guys have any burning issues you're dying to talk about? I've got plenty. I just want to give you guys a
Isn't that why you're doing this podcast like all other podcasters?
Oh wait. Wait, what?
Ooh.
Issues. Things gotta work out.
Wait, say it again. I couldn't hear you.
Isn't that why you're doing this, like all other podcasters, to work out all of your issues?
Yeah, because that's what I'm doing here. I say that as I scroll through lines of text in my phone about like this really personal monologue with hopefully interjections from you guys that I was going to do, all about career and life and work and marriage, and then I said, fuck that shit.
So it wasn't that you didn't hear me, it was that you just weren't listening to me because you were reading something else.
Yeah, something about how I almost was going to work out my personal issues on this podcast. Oh man. All right, Ryan. I feel like we talked about a lot of band stuff that you may not have been into. So what's your favorite band right now?
Guantanamo Baywatch. Easily the best summer album.
Stupidest band name ever.
How do you make fun of pop punk band names? How? How can you be into indie rock and make fun of pop punk?
Because this one's actually funny. It's a play on words. The others are just pretentious shit that someone pulled out of their ass
It's a play on words you say. I hadn't noticed.
You just pulled out the pun defense. Like what?
Yeah, because nothing is more intelligent than a pun.
You know what? All right.
Fuck
Oh,
you.
Ollie's frozen. Oh, there's Pat. Hey, Pat.
Hey guys.
Oh man. All right. So
Come here for some 50s?
yeah, Pat.
What?
Hey, Pat, do you remember that old? I guess it's a Charlie Chaplin. What's it called? Like a Charlie Chaplin video where that woman just the pictures. That woman comes strolling in and everyone's like, "Oh my God, is she's talking with something to her head? Oh my God, is that a time traveler with a cell phone?"
Yeah.
You look like a '50s time traveler who discovered the internet.
Well, that's pretty accurate because I gotta tell you guys, I just came from my polio treatment, and you don't know what you're missing.
Pat came. By the way, Pat, by the time you got here, we had like exhausted all our topics and we were running out of steam, and you just fucking brought it back. That's awesome.
All right.
So, Pat, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go.
Well, see ya.
We're gonna go for just a little bit more and talk about the Less Than Jake Real Big Fish show.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And you guys chime in whenever. And Pat, if you want to keep podcasting, you can join the one that I'm going to do in a few minutes with a bunch of comedians. If you want to do that.
Oh no, I'll bounce out of that one because I am not that funny.
No, fuck you. You have to do it because somebody else dropped out, and I'm going to feel like a piece of shit if. Whatever. We'll talk.
Okay.
What shirt are you wearing?
I am wearing the shirt that you gave me that says something about being a fashion monster or something.
Fashion monster. All right. Well, yeah, that line in that song that they came from of the Heavyweight song, bandcamp.heavyweights. Whatever. Heavyweights. Whatever. Where if you listen to it, and I'm gonna ruin the song for anybody who actually still listens to it. It's the we fashion weapons and fashion statements completely. What is it? What's the line? Anybody who knows my band better than I do?
You just blacked out for a second. Sorry, man.
Yeah, I think that was just everyone's attention span when I was saying that. Okay, so we saw Less Than Jake and Real Big Fish. So we got there, and so how would you describe the audience in one word, Pat?
Aged.
It was. I've seen Streetlight Manifesto and other bands that were like, I guess a little bit younger than Less Than Jake, but like, all their crowds are still pretty young. Me and Pat were some of the youngest people at this fucking show.
Yeah, it was weird because we were walking up and I was expecting to, just throw some baleful glances at some teeny bopper assholes thinking they were fucking the scene. And then I get up to the line, I'm like, holy fuck, man, we are clearly the youngest people here, and what's more, we're the ones getting those glances.
Yeah, it looked like a freaking, I don't know, like everyone had giant beards, wrinkles, like everyone was just exhausted from life as a ska fan.
There were people there who had clearly just come from work.
Yeah. Sorry, Brad, what did you say?
I was saying they were just worn people.
Yeah, ska fans. We are a worn people, migrating, skanking from one band that breaks up to the next. Well, we saw. So I'm gonna bounce back and forth briefly, and Brian and Brad, you can. It's just jump. Ryan and Brad. Ryan and Brad, just jump in whenever. But so Pat, what were your thoughts on Real Big Fish?
I thought they actually did a really good show. They didn't do a lot of the usual things that they do, like the what was it? You know how they sometimes do that suburban rhythm?
Yeah, and all the different versions of the song.
15 minutes long, sung in different genres. I was kind of glad they didn't do that because they did it at so many of their shows. It seems like it's kind of played out, but they did a good mix of their their poppy dance stuff that they first started out with, then their Woe Is Me, Nobody Likes Us Anymore stuff from like 2004, and then some of their newer stuff. So it was a good set, I thought, and they kept the energy high. I think everybody burned themselves out on Real Big Fish before Less Than
Jake headlined.
Yeah, Less Than Jake headlined, and everybody was fucking exhausted by the time they got on because everybody was like, yeah, woo, Real Big Fish, yeah. They were,
On a scale of minnow to marlin, how big? If the fish was a show, or if the show was a fish that was reeled in by the band, where would you rank it?
It's hard to say, somewhere between nurse shark and dog shark, but not whale shark.
All right, I couldn't think of a fish pun, so I'm gonna.
You're gonna finish this podcast?
I'm gonna fish this podcast. Double pun. Suck it. Okay.
Making a pass of himself over here.
It wouldn't be an Eric Tries Too Hard podcast if one of his jokes didn't flop like a fish dead on the floor.
Yeah, you reeled back in an empty hook on that one, man.
Damn it! Jesus.
I think you're a little out of the water here, buddy.
Speaking of a fish out of water tale, me and Pat came up with a movie idea while we were waiting between bands. There is a 0% chance this is going to be anywhere close to as enjoyable as it was in the moment. But Pat was
everything you said.
Pat's in the Navy, and he was describing all the doing Fleet Week and had all this work issues and stuff. And he described this something I forget exactly. I don't know. He described this world that I responded with. It sounds like you're describing a wacky zany comedy movie. Is his life in the Navy.
If this movie had been made in 1998, it would have starred Pauly Shore, but now it would star Kevin James.
Yeah, and Pat was saying it was the joke Pat made. It was just you're getting or whatever. You have to go maybe get shipped off overseas, and you're trying to plead with the officer, don't make me go. And he was something along the lines of if you give me a lap dance or something. And,
no! What it was I was describing the incident when I was overseas in Afghanistan. I had been up for about 24 hours straight, and I was just out of my mind tired. And I got to work that morning and checked my messages, and Eric had sent me a message, and he was like, I see a lot of stuff that's coming out of the country right now, and I'm a little worried. I just want to see how you're doing. I'm like, dude, I'm fine. Don't fucking worry about it. He's like, no, man. And I just want to make sure you're okay. I'm like, Eric, if you stop worrying about me, I'll make you this deal. If I come back in one piece, I will do a lap dance to a song of my choosing at one of your shows on Dave.
Yeah, that somehow turned into the guy trying to get out of the serving by giving the commanding officer a lap dance. But he's so good at lap dances that the commanding officer is like, "You're coming. You're my personal assistant."
And the only reason he joined the military in the first place was that he was kicked out of his Chippendale show because he wasn't hot enough. He was overweight.
It's Kevin James now.
Yeah, so it's Kevin James because it's 2015.
But so then he gets over to the war, and he's put on the front lines. Maybe his commanding officer is killed, or who knows? It's something. And then he's put on the front lines, and now he's really out of water, and he gets captured by the enemy, and they're about to kill him. But then they discover he's the greatest lap dancer on the world. So now he's lap dancing, trying to work his way up to assassinate their leader, and he's just via lap dance. And we were trying to think of what the title would be, because it's Kevin James something, and it Stars and Strips is what we came up with. And I don't know if you guys come up with something better.
I tried so hard to come up with something better than that, and I couldn't. I damn near pissed myself laughing at that.
I don't know how else.
Huh? What?
White and blue balls.
That's
One
good.
more time.
We'll table that.
Red, white, and blue balls.
We're gonna throw them all in a hat, and then we'll pull out, and then the movie will be called Sublive, and Brad will get $75. So I just thought Real Big Fish looked tired. I thought they were doing. I hadn't seen them other than Warped Tour in a while, and I thought it was a good they played very well. But I think they've been doing the same thing for so long that it's so much clockwork that they're just we know what things to hit. It's very smooth. It's a great show. I just felt they look kind of we're not going to build on this. We're just going to do what we do, and people like it, and they're going to like it. And I think that's great. I just thought here's what it reminded me of. This is the first like ska is gonna be like for us as ska fans is gonna be like when 80s hair metal bands came back to do reunion tours, and they didn't adapt with the times, which is good because that's not what their fans want. Their fans don't want them acting like Real Big Fish don't want them coming out like sentimental slash sarcastic like indie rock bands where everything's either ironic or like overly like vague but sensitive somehow. If they adapted to what bands do now on stage, we wouldn't like it. But they're just so good at what they do, and so it felt like. And then all the people in the crowd were all like late 30s ska fans who were still doing exactly what it's like. So that's what it felt like to me. I was like, oh shit, that's how this is gonna go. That's how this is going to go down. It's going to be a 1996 time capsule for fucking ever.
Eric, does that mean that A&E can expect a spec script from us about how the lead singer of some ska band is still looking for love, and we create a reality show over it?
Yeah.
You know, Skanks for the memories.
Holy shit! Because it's a love show. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Skanks for that's perfect. Oh man, well, that's solid. That's great. Yes, they can. I hope so. And then, but I thought Less Than Jake.
They knocked it out of the park.
They destroyed. I cannot believe how good they sounded. Great. They played everything a little slower, but like that's actually good because you
built up to it.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Great energy, and they were the biggest assholes in the planet. Like they do these. Because Less Than Jake, like Real Big Fish, plays pranks on the audience and makes jokes, and they're funny. Less Than Jake just act like real assholes. Like they brought a girl who was kind of like sitting in VIP, like not paying attention. And she was like, it's my birthday, when they called her out on it. And they're like, oh, it's your birthday? Come on stage. And while they're like getting shots ready for her to do, and she's like, yeah! The singer and one of the other guys started playing like quietly and singing into the mic so that you could only really hear it in the crowd. And they were singing a song, and they're like, you're not special. You're not special. and oh my god, just going on and on. They were just fucking such total dicks. I was very happy about that.
I didn't think they were dicks. I thought they were just doing what they do. They were having fun with the crowd. They brought out things like confetti cannons and
they've been doing that since they were 18.
Well, yeah, and a toilet paper thrower. They were they were just really getting into the show. I didn't think they were particularly dickish, except maybe to that girl who was in the VIP section.
Yeah, that was true. Maybe it was just her. All right, well, so what I'm going to do now, we're going to wrap up. Thank you guys so much for coming on. This is a lot of fun. We got into some heavy issues, and then I stopped making fun of how Ryan looks, and then sorry, god damn it. After we do these, I feel like a piece of shit. Can you make fun of me, please? Can you just
I'm just going to let you wallow in your shame.
Yeah.
I don't know why I feel I'm making myself out to be the martyr and the victim here. I'm the asshole. All right, and on that note,
it's not bullying if it's comedy, right? If it's funny, it's funny.
But usually Ryan makes fun of me back, and he didn't today.
That's fine.
Maybe he's figured it out.
I think I was making fun of you. You just weren't listening.
Yeah, that's fair. I was listening. I just okay. All right. So now that I'm digging myself deeper, thank you guys so much for coming on. This is fun. Yeah. And we'll see you all soon. Very soon.
See ya.
And I'm still sending you the link, Pat. You're going to fucking join. All right, see you guys.
Okay.